First, I'll give you, Randy, first whack at my analysis of the comparison that I'm bothered that people who said Trump was being done dirty because of who he is, not what the system should be punishing, are now quiet about this. You see a parallel or no?
You don't need me to be on. I can't do it any better than you just did it. What boggles my mind is that Trump and Biden really should be comrades in arms. They are everything when we talk about there being a two-tiered system of justice. This is an example of sometimes it can backfire, and it's actually the rich and the powerful and the connected. They're the ones that can get done dirty. Anybody but Trump, nobody gets prosecuted for making false entries in books to cover up an affair. The same way nobody gets prosecuted for being a drug addict, even if it's to buy a gun. To your point, as long as the gun is not used in the commission of a crime or in some moral abhorrent thing. The two of them should be shoulder to shoulder saying, is this the best we got?
Now, Stu, you see it differently. You think he's guilty all day long. I don't think that you're wrong. He obviously was a drug addict at the time that he made the application. But do you believe that this is a case that they would bring if his name was Hunter Jones?
Probably not. But no politics here, Chris, just facts. The most poetic and pathetic thing happened today. What ended up being the star witness in Wilmington, Delaware, in federal court today?
The laptop.
Hunter Biden's own laptop computer. That is correct. Let's go back 2020, 3 weeks before the presidential election. The New York Post does an article, reveals they're in possession of the laptop computer. What there happens, 50 former intelligent, high-ranking officials sign a letter and say it's garbage. It's nothing more than the Russians trying to interfere with the presidential election. Here's where the American people have been done dirty. No politics here. The FBI, soon thereafter, has the laptop. Chris, I worked for the laptop. They're the best of the best. Within hours, they knew that laptop was legitimate. They knew it was a treasure trove of criminal enterprises and evidence of all sorts of crimes by the Biden establishment. What did they do? They did everything to suppress it. They colluded with Twitter. They colluded with Facebook. They did everything to bury the laptop.
But Stu,
what is so potent?
They're using it now, but they haven't come up with anything else off the laptop that led to any criminality.
But there is a fundamental problem here with the laptop. Not to be overly cynical, but you would think that the son of the vice president at one point, the son of a president, if he had an issue with his laptop and need his laptop fixed, hey, guys at the NSA, guys at the CIA, guys at the Pentagon, I need a hand with my laptop. No, instead, bring it to a guy who happens to be legally blind, who is in bed with the Republicans, and then where does the laptop go from there? Forgive my cynicism, but anybody but Biden, this ain't happening.
But even still, Stuart, my problem with the laptop is that they did hide it. They did try to kill the story. I agree with you. That's why I asked Rudy Giuliani to give it to me
let's stop
and to
right
give me
there.
the hard drive. But I'm saying, you said it's
Chris,
a treasure trove of criminality. What has come out about it except this?
Well, hold on a minute. He's still got tax implications and tax problems that are yet to come forward. So we're not there yet. We're just talking about the ATF Form 4473, which he blatantly lied on. And Chris, that form is for idiots. Anybody who can speak the English language can fill out that form. It's unambiguous. It's straightforward.
Yeah,
he cheated. He lied.
Stuart's right.
He lied.
He's dead on that. But the appellate courts, two of them, have already come down and said, you can't do that. Being a drug addict is not a crime. The status of being a drug addict, it is not a crime to be
being
a drug
in possession of a weapon while you're a drug addict is illegal.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.